All right, we're back. Thank you for those who are joining me today. Yeah, last week was really good. Got a lot done. Got a lot of stuff done. Um, and yeah, so far it's been really fun streaming again with you guys as well. So appreciate all the chats and stuff that we've been talking about over the last few streams. But yeah, we made some really good progress. And I thought I'd just show a little bit of what we did last week. I think it was all in this area here. There's a little bonus shot there you may have noticed that I did off stream. So last week was basically all about, hey, how you doing? Um, welcome. Um, Last week was all about this shot here, really getting this one looking good. But I thought I'd show you a little bit of a sequence. Going well. I did a really good shot yesterday. I can't show it today, um, but I'll probably show it later, eventually. But I was really happy with it. Hey, how you doing? Um, but yeah, here's what we got from last week. Obviously, there's some parts that I've done a long time ago in between, but this is the shot from last week that I chucked on YouTube a few days ago. I'm really happy with that. Cleaned up this shot a little bit, and I added a new shot here. Nice little shot there. And there's the sequence as it is at the moment. So yeah, so far so good. Um, yeah, I think it's looking pretty cool. I'm very happy with it so far. All right, no worries. Thank you for joining. Um, I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I thought I'd give it a go. I added a super chat goal to support the channel. So if you feel generous and wish to help me along the way, feel free to drop a super chat. Otherwise, yeah, just watch and feel free to ask whatever you want to ask, regardless. But yeah, here's what we've got so far. Again, I'm really happy with it. Oh, thank you. It's yeah, I'm very happy with it so far. There's a shot right here that I want to show, but I can't show it right now. I can't show it right now. I think I'd be giving away too much if I show that. But I'm really happy with the shot. Um, but yeah, I'm really happy with the wolf. The wolf is all like I love the effect I had with the fur. That little jump in the fur came out really good. I'm really happy with it. And with the lighting and everything, it looks really fun. Um, so yeah, there's a shot, figuratively and literally. But yeah, really happy with it so far. But what I'm going to do today, at least for now, to start off, is I want to practice a little bit, and I haven't done it before. I need to practice with uh, Ragdoll physics. So Ragdoll physics basically means that you let gravity and collisions dictate the animation of whatever you're doing. So you basically the character ends up working like a ragdoll. So I need to do that. I need to test it out and see if it works with my character rig. So I'm going to make an alternative file to start off with and do some experiments today. And if I get that working, then I'll jump back into doing some animation. So we'll see how far we can take it today. Yeah, thanks. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was sort of like I did an edit at first, and I was really happy with it because I wanted to save time on animation, and it was like sort of like still shots of sorts. And then my friend mentioned, why don't you just like use the animation you already got but split it? And yeah, it came out really good. Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just trying to trying to do something different. You know what I mean? So yeah, looking pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, time to add a new file. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to import Eevee as a character. I'm going to do some experiments with some ragdoll physics. Yeah, I know, right? It's little things. So yeah, there's a shot that I did yesterday, which I'm really happy with, where just a little bit of a twitch of her hand when she realizes something. It's like really subtle, but yeah, it came out really good, and it like adds so much to it. So I'm gonna make a new plane to start off with today, and then I'm gonna import Eevee. I'm gonna save this as a new file. Should I save this as a new shot though? No, I'll do it as a template first. So I'm gonna put that in the character inside the characters folder. So under Eevee, I'm going to give this a name and call it Eevee Ragdoll. Now I'm hoping that the Ragdoll will work with the current rig, because then I can actually bake down the Ragdoll to the rig and then edit the animation if I have to. So we'll see if that works out. So save that as. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Let's import in. I'm not going to link it. I'm going to actually import this one because of the Ragdoll. I don't want to have to like break it. I don't want it to break if it, yeah, works like shit. So collection, rig master, and append, and that should work. Yeah, that's all good. I hate when the widgets don't automatically get organized into their bloody folder because the widgets aren't in the collection, so it doesn't get added, which is really annoying. So I'm just going to go ahead and move those to a new folder, widget, and disable those from rendering. There we go, cool. So yeah, there's our character. Let's turn off a few things in the viewport. Relationship lines, don't need to see that. And to start off with, I want to make sure that everything is in FK. So I'm going to save the file first. Go to my panel on the side here. Go to my bone layers add-on and add a... Let me see. I need to turn off the IK. So I'm going to turn off IK on all of those. Like so. I'm also got the multi-stream going. So hopefully I see your chats on Twitch as well. So hopefully that works out as well. And the other thing I need to turn off is that her head is not following the neck. So there's a little switch I have on the neck area for that. I always forget where I put it. Rig properties. Where did I put it? It's in here somewhere. Where are we? It's in there. Motion trail, no. There it is, ISO head. Turn that on. So basically when she turns her whole body, it turns with it. So there we go. All right, cool. Feel free to ask questions along the way. I'm not afraid to answer anything you have in mind, so go ahead and ask. I'm going to turn it on simplify, bring down the poly count to nothing, so it runs basically in real time. So now it runs really quickly. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn off all my bone layers. So I only want to see the FK stuff. So IK, that can all be turned off. Turn off all the tweaks, all the jaw, all the face. I don't need to see that. And I think everything else is good. Yes, I don't need to see the twist either. I think turn that off as well. So yeah, there we go. Looking good. So I'm just going to double check to see if the chat's working. Okay, cool. It is working. Cool. All right. Sweet. All right. So the other thing I'm going to do is just go into my master folder and turn off all of my additional stuff, like just rig curve guides and stuff like that. Turn that off. It just happens when you turn the rig on, when you do this for the first time. That's interesting. I might just put that into there. All right, cool. What do you think about UE5 rendering instead of Blender's Eevee or cycles which is even slower? When you're making a film, doesn't matter if it's slow or not, because usually rendering in general takes time. And you know, when you are rendering out of Unreal as a video, it's still going to be slowish. It's still going to try and upscale the quality. This is my, yeah, since graduation, since the university, this is my first bloody film in a while. So yes, hold on, let me just get my headphones. I'll be back in a sec. I forgot them, so let me hook it in so I can actually hear them come up. But yes, first animated film in a while, put it that way. Um, but yeah, to go back to the it's all working great. To go back to the question about Unreal 5, is that yeah, it's good for certain things, but the thing is that your trade-offs are, unless you know how to use Unreal well, the trade-offs are greater. The greater trade-offs are that you're basically stuck with very simple rigs. You can't really work with, like, put it this way. All right, here's an example. Let me turn on my my tweakers. Unless you build this into the rig in a very specific way, you can't do shit like this very easily with a rig you export out to Unreal, unless you export out an Alembic, which essentially means that you can't really edit the animation in Unreal. You can't do stuff like that. You can't use grease pencil stuff if you wanted to do a 2D sort of style stuff a bit more. You don't have the compositor. You're better off just working within a 3D software, in my opinion, unless you specifically plan on using Unreal to add additional value to things like AR, VR, or something like that. So there's that sort of, those are sort of considerations you have to make. And unless you're going down the ultra realistic route, I don't think the value is there, because you can do ultra stylized really easily in Blender, probably easier than in Unreal, to be honest. So yeah, there's that as well. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by working out a collision setup for the character. So I haven't done this before in my life, so this is all brand new stuff to me. It should be pretty simple to set up though. So I'm going to go ahead and make a cube and sort of make it match her head. I actually might do it with balls and cylinders. It should still work. It just might not be as performative. So I'm going to go with a ball instead. Mesh, round cube. Ah, no worries at all. And bring up the radius. And that all should be good for her head. I might turn on wireframe view for this one and switch it to random. That way you can actually see what we're doing a bit easier. So what I want to do is basically just link up her scale of her face to that object. In relative terms, of course. All right, cool. That should do the trick. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see the cage after this. So all right, cool. Grab that. I might grab another circle now. Actually, let's use another ground cube. Round cube. There we go. Yep, there we go. Something like that. And I'm just going to kind of link it all up like so. Hold on, just going to reply to a message. All right, cool. I'm gonna do the same thing on her hips. So I'm gonna grab her hips, something like that, and I might add some rectangles for her spine, like just the midsection. So what's the hardest part of making animation is the characters. Do you have any tips on making it easier? Yeah, I got like 10 videos on the matter. So if you are interested, there's a whole tutorial series on it. In both using both sculpting tools and using non-sculpting tools. So if you want to check them out, um, now's the best time to do it, I think. I think as well, if you want to, I reckon this year I'll probably have to do it, is make an updated series with the new features. Blender 3.3 came out today or last week. So I haven't updated yet, but I might do an updated video series on it. Did you write the timing for your script, for example, main character? No, I do that in the animatic. The animatic is faster for that. So you basically do your storyboard and time it out with the storyboard. Plus a screenplay, if you're using a proper screenplay software like Final Cut, or Final Draft, or Scenarist, or whatever software, it usually gives you an estimate on how many minutes a thing is already. So you don't have to really worry about writing notes yourself. It just kind of automatically estimates it for you. And I'm telling you right now, the estimation is pretty damn close. It's very close, actually. All right, cool. There's one spine piece. I might go into two views, front and side. There we go. So for those who are just popping in now, oh, no worries, my pleasure. I'm setting up some rigid bodies, basically, for testing out some physics. All right, let's do that. I have to make sure that they're not really touching, I think, as well. So there's another thing as well. So let's just make sure they're not really touching. All right, cool. But again, I've never done this before, so this is all very new to me. Not with a character at least. I might just turn off editability on that, or selectability with the character. There we go. Hey, where the hell are the other? Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Where'd the other one go? There we go. Yeah. There we go. Cool. So there we go. Another one there. Cool. I think that's working all right. Awesome. And if it's too many pieces, I'll just reduce the amount of rigid bodies, basically. All right, cool. Save that. And basically going to do the same thing down the arms and stuff. I'm not going to worry about the hands because that's just too much information, too much bullshit. I'm pretty sure there's a plugin that lets you do this as well, but like automatically creates rigid body parts for different bits. But yeah, I don't have that plugin. So what's the name of your software as you mentioned in helping you with timing? I use a software called Kit Scenarist. It's a open source screenwriting software. It basically formats the screenplay for you accurately, and basically it just according to each scene that you write, if you do it in the right format, it estimates the amount of time it takes to get through that scene. It's a really cool software. It's free, open source. It's basically like Blender but for screenwriting. And considering that it is like screenwriting software is quite expensive in its own right. It's very similar to create other creative software, so it's a freaking ripoff for the most part. Yeah, it's really worth it's really worth checking it out. This will be about 3.5 minutes long. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to work out all the different bits and bobs. So there we go, something like that. I might mirror this one. Here's a little trick right away. If you don't want to change the pivot point of something and you want to mirror it, just make an empty plane axis and use that as your mirror, your mirroring reference. So just go to mirror, set your mirror object as that, as the. Oh, no worries, my pleasure. Thank you for joining. All right, cool. So there we go. Let's make another one. I'm going to duplicate this one actually, and just edit the shape. Now, a lot of tutorials I've seen on this online is they basically just use cubes and rectangles, but I thought let's give it a go with something a bit more accurate to the shape of the body that I have. So, you know, maybe it'll give me a more accurate sort of collision. I'm not going full on with like, you know, making sure every controller has one. All I need to care about is the FK controls working. Cool. There we go. Bottom part of the body's done. Ah, cheers. Cool. So let's go ahead and add another duplicate, but this time for the feet. There we go. Now again, I'm not going to go too crazy with this. I just need to get the basics working, so I think I can then edit any animation if I need to. So just going in. Or I could add one for each controller, at least for the feet. So I might do that actually. So I have one for this controller, for the ankle, and then another one for the foot itself. Actually, no, it's all good because this one actually controls the whole foot. So I'm just going to go all the way down here. That'll do. A while. I've had the idea for years. I wrote the script like 3 years ago. This is only one part of a much larger story as well, which, you know, this is meant to be, this is like the first like 3 minutes of what I would like to be is like a multi-part series of shorts. And it goes for about, this one goes for 3 minutes, but the actual thing would be equivalent to a movie, like an hour and a half worth of animation. So to do that on my own would be practically impossible. But it's worth a shot. If I can get the support, you know, I'll keep making these until, you know, I can no longer afford to do so. So that's kind of why the super chat's there. So I can support making this stuff more often. All right, cool. So there's our rigid body working there so far. And now let's just get the arms and hands out the way, and that should be basically it. And I'll apply these and then separate them as separate objects as well. Cool. So let's just duplicate this one and bring that in place over here. I think it will break, like it tends to break if you have overlapping areas. So I need to make sure that, you know, when I create these rigid bodies that they aren't going to hit each other and sort of explode. So I might flatten out the edges there, for instance, and grab X mirror and just scale those a little bit and bring those back. There we go. Cool. I'm not going to worry too much about the shoulders for the time being. All right, cool. There's her arm done, at least the upper arm. All right, cool. I'm gonna grab that. Oops, sorry. Duplicate that. And sort of rotate it in place. I might just reset the pivot point for that one to the corner. Set origin to 3D cursor. Cool. Now, I think the origin of the rigid body also matters. So that determines where the volumes are, or where the pivot of the volumes go. So I need to make sure that all the pivots are in the right spot too. So we'll have a look and see how that operates. All right, cool. I think that will do. And if I think that I need to have like a bit more leeway in the areas here, bone correction rig tutorial. Are you talking about like orientation? Because in which case I can do a tutorial on that. That's pretty easy to do. Now the goal here as well is to make sure that when I do this, or make these shapes, that they remain relatively low poly, so the performance will stay. Which is why you see me sort of not going too crazy with these bevels, for instance. Adding too many. Cool. I might do the same on these parts here as well. One there. One there. All right, cool. Cool. And the foot should be fine, but I won't add it there, but I'll add it here. Done. Cool. Last but not least is just a hand. I'm not going to do all the fingers because I don't want the rigid bodies to sort of break the like literally break every finger and every bone in their body. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a new. I might actually duplicate this because it's in the same direction and just squish it down. There we go. Something like that should be okay. And then I'll squish down the area where the collision would go, like so. All right, cool. I think that will do the job. Let's save that. Let's select all the bits and bobs. Scale, apply the scale. And we need to make sure that all the pivots are in the right spot as well. So just go ahead and apply all those mirror modifiers to begin with. Save that. I'm going to push apply all. Save this. And let's just get those pivots up and running. All right, so grab that one, go to selection, set origin to 3D cursor. So just have to go through all these and sort of sort those out. Uh, 3D cursor. So there's a bit of preparation involved here, obviously. So because you still want to work with the volumes being in the right spot. So that's why there's a little bit of tedium in this case. So Control S, cursor selected, 3D cursor. Save this. Just by Kitsunarist is a just to answer your question. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't see the other ones. How do you have all the mesh and wireframe in different colors? Oh, there's a random setting in the viewport display. So set it to random. So that answers that question. Next question was, do you have plans to have a team of animators doing the work? Only if I could afford it. It's really expensive to pay people to do things. In any case, it's expensive. So right now, no, not at this time. Um, you could make money with artists making a film chill background for. That's what I was thinking about as well, right? Just have like soundtracks. I was trying to do that with some Spotify playlists, but um like royalty free on Spotify isn't necessarily royalty free on YouTube, and yeah, it's really hard to pick out a playlist that works across both. Um, yeah, which is a real pain, actually. All right, let's separate these items now. So we're gonna separate these legs like so, separate by selection, separate by selection. I'll turn on screencast keys so you can see what I'm pushing, by the way. There we go. Um, hopefully it doesn't get too obscured. It is a little bit obscured. Let's bring up the offset so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So yeah, you can see what I'm pressing now. So there we go. No worries. Cool, cool, cool. That's all working. Now let's get those pivot points looking good. Oh, welcome back. That was quick. 3D cursor. 3D cursor. So there's always these like slow points in any production where you're kind of working out things before you jump into the deep end. This is one of those moments. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Origin to 3D cursor. There we go. Cool. Save that. Yep, that's cool. I think that one's fine, but I'll double check. That's a little bit different. All right, sweet. Cool. Okay. This is why I need a moderator. Okay, let's go ahead and kill those off. Sorry, let me just jump into my chat. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right, cool. Sorry, just have to go ahead and delete those thingos. It's hard to manage everything on your own, isn't it? It's kind of crazy. All right, cool. Hopefully that's all good. Um, the ragdoll, to answer your question, Callie Johnson, basically it will allow me to do 3D, like just procedural physics. So basically it will work like with gravity. Basically, it'll work as like like a ragdoll. So basically, instead of me animating everything from scratch, it will just use the physics engine to dictate everything. So that's the plan with this. That's basically how this is going to work. So if I, like, for instance, spoiler alert for those who are caring about this stuff. Evie here is going to get flung around a little bit. So what we need to do is I can either animate that from scratch and work out all the different, overlays and stuff like that, and it might end up being the case where I have to do it anyway. Or I can or I can have it done automatically and then tweak whatever's been animated. So this could end up looking too humorous to actually work. Also, thank you for the super chat, Kelly. Um, but yeah, there's two ways of doing it: animate it manually, or do it semi-procedurally, where I can fling her around, have her hit a wall, land, and then tweak it afterwards. So hopefully this would be faster. That's the plan, at least. All right, cool. No, no animated presets. So it's actually the opposite of that. It basically means that it is procedural in every sense of way. It's a simulation, essentially, simulated. So you'll see what I mean once I get this working. Geometry, 3D cursor. Yep, there we go. Almost done here with all the setup. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, sweet. Save that. Just give me a second. Um, all right, cool. Sweet. You could put music on during editing. Some stuff like, yeah, I was probably going to do that. I'm probably going to do that once I figure out how to do it on the Mac, because the Mac doesn't really do desktop sound very easily. You got to buy a sort of a separate thing for that to make it work, which is really frustrating. But yeah, so here we go. We got the sort of setup here. So now you'll see now what I mean by ragdoll. No, she won't be fighting procedurally. She'll just get flung around. So anything with fights and stuff will be choreographed and animated properly. Um, it's only the in this case where you don't really want to have control of the character that you kind of add it. So what we're going to do is go to Object, go down to Rigid Body, and add as a passive, I think in this case. Passive. If we go to the settings here now, where are we? Rigid Body. There it is there. It will be passive, and then all of these ones will be active. I'm going to select all of these parts here, making sure that none of them are overlapping. I might actually do just one here, but we'll see. Let's actually flatten out the bottom there. And bring that up. Ah, I missed a spot. Let's see what we're doing here. Ah, classic. That's weird. Okay, that must have been mirrored. Select all these. Let's just bring that up a little bit, like so. And do that again. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to, it's hard when you have to balance your life and everything else to make your own creative stuff. Because doing it freelance is fun, but you always end up missing out on doing stuff for yourself, which sucks. Or even just anything with an artist, doing anything artistic kind of sucks that you can't do it. You're constantly doing other people's visions, but not your own. So it's always nice to be able to have the chance to do it yourself, especially when you have a budget of like $0. There we go. That should do the trick. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is select everything here. I'm going to hide that away. Like so. And go to Object, Rigid Body. active. And we're going to go with the shape of, yeah, convex hull will be enough. Let's have a look and see what happens. And you can see here that the other cool thing is that you can see how the physics works with the pivots, how they're balanced. So the volumes are determined by the where the volumes are sitting are determined by the pivot points. So you can kind of see it has a sort of blow up doll sort of effect. There's clown dolls you can punch. There's the physics working there, right? So now the question is, how do we make it work as a actual ragdoll? So what we're going to do is, I think it's this one, and then falling to pieces. Yeah, I'm gonna actually look up my video again. Let's have a look. I'm actually using video tutorials for this one as well, so that doesn't help. Let's have a look here. Let's go back. Ragdoll. There's like 1,000 tutorials on this as well, so like this is why I don't really haven't really done an official video on something like this before. So there's that. So what I'm trying to do is we need to connect them. All right, cool. So there's a connect menu. All right, cool. All right, cool. So we can connect them now. So what we're going to do is go from this one to this one, I think, and then right click and go to, there should be a menu up here. Let's see, object, rigid body, connect. As a shortcut. Let's see how that works now. So you can see here that now the objects are connected. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is go down the pipeline and just push. Oh, that worked? I'm not sure. No, it hasn't. All right, cool. Yeah, for sure. There's always something to add. So this one, then this one. I think it's this one. Object, rigid body, connect. Object, rigid body, connect. Let's see if it's doing it in the right direction. Hopefully it is. Yeah, it's working. You can kind of see it's all kind of doing their thing. I don't know if there's a hierarchy to it though. That's the only thing. If there's a hierarchy, then I might be doing it wrong, but we'll see how we go. Where are we? Rigid body, connect. Connection pattern selected to active. Okay, there is an option. There is a way to do it. Okay. There is a pattern to this thing. So selected to active. Shit, it crashed. Oh god. Hopefully it Hello, how you doing? Oh gosh. Let's open up the template. Let's open up open recent, recover, autosave. That was 2032. Oh god. I think I didn't oh god. I hope I saved it. Okay, it is saved. What about the pivot points? Okay, no, the pivot points have not been fixed. Okay, classic. All right, make sure I remember to save. Okay. All right. Let's quickly go ahead and fix up these bloody pivot points again. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. Good. Okay, there's only one that wasn't working. Okay, cool. Let's fix up the pivot point over here. Okay, selected. That one's working. Okay, so we didn't lose too much stuff. So I did save it properly. Let's go ahead and save this again. And make this object rigid body. All right, that one's already got a rigid body on it. That's good. That one's got a rigid body on it. Are they all got rigid bodies? They do. Okay. So we didn't lose too much. Okay, cool. So it is working. We just missed out on a few things. Good. So let's have a look at the settings here. Selected to active. We want to selected to active. We want to go down the chain the way you'd expect it. Okay, cool. So we're going to go object, rigid body, connect, selected to active. Yep, we're going to do the same thing. Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. So you can see it's doing its thing here. So Shift R is basically repeating the action from before. So repeat, Shift R. So that makes it a lot quicker to repeat the action instead of going through the menu constantly. And now let's have a look at this. Save. Like so. All right, who's falling into the sewers? All right. You never know. Okay, so the rigid body is working. She's actually staying up on her own 2 feet. It's actually quite well balanced. That's actually a cool little, that's actually kind of cool. That she's actually balanced on her own 2 feet. That's actually really interesting. Wouldn't you make the hips and the primary TED interconnected object? Wouldn't you make the yes, that's the main point. That's the main area where the animation's being influenced at the moment. So if I were to animate this, let's try and animate this. Let's see what happens. Okay, can I animate it? Let's see. Dynamics. Active, passive, deactivation. Animated. There we go. Let's see if this works. So it is working. It's just really rigid. It's a very rigid body. Let's try and animate some rotation in there and see what happens. So it's very rigid at the moment. So we probably just have to change the sensitivity a little bit. But it's working, so that's good. Yeah, so we'll be adding a force to this as well. Let's go back to my video reference. New body slam. Yeah, that's basically it. That's what I kind of want to do with this as well. So let's have a look and see what we got here. Okay, so repeat this. Blah 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 blah. Everything's connected. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm gonna make it empty to control where she's gonna get hit, pulled away. So I'm gonna do it from the back of her back. That's where her that's where in the story she kind of gets pulled away from. Or it could be from her leg, actually. Let's actually put it empty there and see what happens. So I'm gonna add a empty here, a cube, and that will control her from there. So I'm gonna select everything except for the plane here. Select everything, select the cube, save, parent, object. Let's just What is with Blender today? Doesn't like the soft bodies. This is the only problem with the Mac is just how sensitive it is sometimes with the version. So anyway, let's go ahead and push play. It's not doing anything. Okay. Is it a child? Let's have a look. Relationships. Relations. No, it's not. Select everything. Parent. Save. All right, cool. Why is there keyframes here? Delete that. That could be causing issues as well. All right, let's give this a go. Jesus. Does not like the rigid bodies. Oh my god. Maybe I should update to the new Blender. God damn. Oh, that's just the default Mac background. I haven't got around to changing it. Um, all right, cool. Let's try again. All right. Okay, so it is working. You can kind of see it doing its thing. It's just very rigid at the moment. I don't want to be that rigid. You can see it kind of breaking a little bit there as well. So yeah, at least it's working. I think we can change the sensitivity a little bit so it isn't as rigid, because I want to be able to sort of play with, yeah, just having it sort of work a little bit better. So let's go ahead and have a look at the settings. All right, cool. So there's a keyframe there as well. That could be causing issues as well. So let's go ahead and delete those keyframes. Okay, cool. Ah, thanks. Let's have a look. All right, so let's just see what the it could also be the scale. If the scale has not been sorted, I'm also wondering whether or not rotations affect the rigid bodies, but I don't think they do. So let's go ahead and have a look at the setup there under the modifiers. Is it modifiers or constraints? Physics. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we've got here. Surface response, rotation, dampening, dynamics, deactivation, collision margin. That could be one. Friction might be a bit high. Thank you for the super chat again. Blender needs to make GP equal to Procreate. As in Grease Pencil, that's really tough. Only because it's a completely different system. It's all pixels with Procreate, so it makes it a lot harder. That's for sure. But if you could, that'd be pretty amazing. If you want something equivalent in terms of quality of brushes, you're probably better off animating in Krita, unless you need the 3D space. Cool. Let's see what we can do here. Let's change the friction somewhat to I don't know, 0.2, and see what happens across the board. So I'm going to select all of these. And set the thing to 0.2, hold down Alt, and it should have changed it to everything. Let's see what happens now. So it looks like it's getting a little bit more, yeah, it looks a little bit better now. Let's select and push play and see what happens. It's bouncing back though, quite a bit. I don't really want it to sort of let's see what happens now. Let's just actually bring it down 100% then. Let's select all geometry, select all by type, mesh, and bring it down to friction of 0.1. And let's play that back and have a look. That's looking better, I think. I can always see it doing its thing a little bit better. Okay. For some reason, these ones aren't moving that much, which is interesting. I'm wondering whether or not they actually are working, but there it goes again. But yeah, even this enough would be enough for me to say that this is not a good method to go down, at least on this computer, for what I want to do. It might end up being the case where it will be worth doing something else, but we'll see how it go. All right, cool. Let's just do a little test then. Let's grab a keyframe there and rotation. And what I want to do is actually, let's just have a look at something else. Because I want it to sort of be procedural. I want her to get hit and then sort of get flung aside to something. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so the main issue is that I think this area here. Okay, let's turn off animated for that and see what happens now. There we go. That's what we need. Yep. Okay, so the problem is that the hips were animated, not the yep. Okay, cool. So now, if I'm lucky, I can fling her to a wall and it will work. So that's working really well now. Obviously, there's still very rigid. I can hopefully reduce the rigidity there, but she's working. Okay, cool. So now, if I grab, actually, it probably would have been better if I grabbed like, yes. Okay, cool. All right, so it all really depends on the shot. So solving this stuff now, it's all about that puzzle solving thing. So if you want to have a character be dragged by the ankle, for instance, and flung, then the center point here would not be the correct point to make that connection. What should be happening is that the connection should be from the heel of that foot. So what I'm going to do is going to save that. I'm going to delete all these connections now and start fresh. Let's go from this point outwards. So now what we're going to do is connect it like so. Connect it to the ankle, if that makes sense. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Let's just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and firstly reset everything. Delete that keyframe. Save the file. Reset the location. Not sure why this is all not lined up. That's the other thing about I really can't stand about yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Let's just reline up her geometry. So everything has to be lined up again. Okay. Okay, cool. At least that will kind of work. Oh, save that again. All right. So this one to this one, we're going to connect. Object, rigid body, connect. Save. And then continue down the chain. And just repeat the same process. Okay. This one goes to this one. This one goes to this one. This one goes to this one. And that should be good. Save that. All right. So I'm hoping that if I drag her now, it will work a little bit better. Let's go ahead and save that. Copy that rotation. Let's just do a full keyframe there available. Copy, rotation, scale, etc. And this time I'm going to just move her one. And then down. Keyframe that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so nothing's parented to that either. Okay, let's hide that away. Hide away EV master. Select everything. Make it a child of that. Oh, come on. Why aren't you working now? So obviously it's not perfect. Okay. I'm going to delete everything else. So select, I'm going to reset this. Select all by mesh. Control I to invert selection. Delete everything there. Okay, these are all got the physics on it. Okay, good. Let's start fresh. Because I can probably just animate the foot. I don't need to have that empty to do what I need to do. All right. So we're just going to make that an animated foot, if anything. So object, animation, rigid body, connect. Working up the chain. All right, cool. And this one I'm going to set as animated. All right, cool. Keyframe that. All right. Let's just drag this across the floor. All right, it's kind of working. Yep, definitely working. Very rigid though, too rigid. Let's make sure this is connected. Let's see if this works. Okay, cool. Let's add a little bit of rotation in there and see what happens now. If that makes a difference. Yes, it is making a difference. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Um, yeah, this is the one thing about physics-based objects or physics-based animation or simulations-based stuff is just how fucking much of a pain in the ass it is to get right. Let's save that. This is on Windows. Oh, not Windows. This is on Mac. So I'm using the Mac to do this today. Cool. Now what I might do is change the shape from convex hull to mesh across all these and see if we get a better result. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because convex hull doesn't actually duplicate the exact mesh shape. Alt mesh. Save that. Let's see if that makes a difference. And you can see that makes a much bigger difference because it's using the actual geometry. All right, cool. I'm not sure why these parts don't have gravity though. Like why they're so rigid, I'm not sure. So I might have to go and do some research on that as well. This is the thing about these sort of things that they're never really talked about in these tutorials. It's just like the kind of tweaks you have to do to make this work, which sucks. Let's do one more test before I wrap it up for today. For now, I might jump on later today or tonight to do more animation stuff. But we're gonna grab. Let's delete the keyframes here, and we're gonna add a ball. And I'm gonna add a rigid body. Set it as passive. Yeah, there'd be a way. There should be a way to eliminate the stiffness for sure. I got to figure it out myself. All right, so I'm gonna make a ball. I'm going to. Oh, okay, there we go. I'm going to push the ball through the body and see what happens. Okay, it's not going through. That should have worked. Ah, Christ. This is the thing I hate about simulations. It's always like trial and error. Make it animated. All right, cool. Let's try that again. Save the file. Make sure it doesn't crash. Yeah, it's really rigid. Like it's really bouncing back. I don't know why. So let's go ahead and turn off animated here. Try that again. It's getting there. It's just it's just really, really really stiff. Okay. Sensitivity, margins, collections. We need to change the dampening, I think. Let me just jump into the settings here. Let's try to find the simplest, quickest tutorial I can find. All right. All right, cool. Let's see. I think I need to add. Do I have to add a gravity operator? I'm not sure, honestly. I don't think so. Only because It's already being affected by gravity. All right, let's have a look. So if anyone has an answer to this, that'd be great, but I don't have one that's clear right now. It could be just the shapes that I have. It could be the collision distance as well, based on the scale of things. So what I might do is reduce the margin threshold where, okay, friction, the friction is still all 0.2, so let's go ahead and reduce that down. I don't think the impulse will make much difference because it's just going to be a consistent force that will just push it across. I don't really need that. I just need to have it like work down the chain essentially. Really interesting. I'm actually wondering what happens if I make it passive. I don't think it will do anything. Yeah, it's not going to do anything. Maybe my character's just too balanced. Mass. It could increase the mass, maybe. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Let's go with 3 kilos. Yeah, possibly. Could possibly add an impulse. It's just interesting that it's just like being controlled so rigidly. Like obviously it's a rigid body, but yeah. Well, in any case, we can test it out with the character. So we can actually test it out with Eevee as well. So all I got to do is that's interesting. Oh, I see. That's interesting. Why are they all in the wrong collection? Before I do that, let's just turn off those and turn on these collections. Move those to new collection, rigid body. I'll have to wrap it up soon, unfortunately. But we're solving stuff together, so that's all good. All right, cool. So turn on Eevee. Make sure the geo is turned off. And what we can do is create constraints to the body. No, it's not. It's far worse. The Mac is way worse when it comes to rendering in general. But quality of life stuff outweighs it. Let's go ahead and just try adding a child of to the hips. All right, let's try and do that for the head. Basically, I'm going to go through and do this for all of the different body parts. Now, if it's going to crash, this is the time it's going to crash. I'm telling you right now. Save that. So you'll understand what I mean, at least, with how the rigid body can potentially help out with this animation. Cool. There's that one. Rigid body. I think that's all of it except for the other arm. So let's go ahead and make sure that's all good. Luckily, they fixed the set inverse problem with the latest updates, relatively speaking. No worries. Cheers. Thanks for joining. Cool. There we go. Save that. Child of. Okay, one more for the hand, other hand here. Save. All right, cool. Let's see what happens now. You can see that. Okay. I think I missed a couple. All right, so that one does not have a constraint. That's why the spine doesn't have a constraint. So let's go to child of constraint, child of. That one there. All right, last but not least. All right, seek. All right, let's have a go now. Wait, okay. Well, if that's any indication, then I'm pretty sure that this idea is a rooted idea to begin with. At least with this rig. So that means I'd probably have to go with a simpler rig to make this work. And this is why it's really important to do these things. Because what's happening, I think it's what's happening is a double transform, obviously. Or, yeah. So that was a real pain. All right, cool. Well, at least I know now. And at least you guys know as well the the issues that come with this sort of stuff. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here. I'll probably maybe do a bit more of this, or I might just animate a shot this afternoon or something like that. We'll see how we go. I might have to jump on in the evening instead. But that was a good stream. It was good to find out what the hell to do with this rigid body, whether or not it's going to work to begin with. I don't think it will overall, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for those who gave me some super thanks. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll catch you guys probably in a few hours or something like that. We'll see how we go. Thanks for all your questions as well. They were great. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.